Okay, I've been sitting here reading about Moses. All right, from the birth of Moses to when Moses went down to Midian. We started out in Genesis 37 when we was talking about Joseph's dream. And from that, we went over and started talking about the birth of Moses. So we're gonna pull a couple of cards just to get some additional clarity on what we was just talking about here, just to see what Spirit would like to share. We're gonna start first with some one worders and see what we get with the one worders first, real quick. We're not gonna make this long because I'm in the middle of doing something, but I want to see how the cards come out when it comes to Moses and Joseph. Joseph's dream and Moses' birth. Okay. Okay. We don't have many. All right. We don't have many here. Okay. So the first one we have here, it says glitter. Look at that, glitter. Now, we know that Joseph, he received a coat, right? We really don't know the odds and ends. We know some things about the coat, maybe, but glitter could have been something about the coat, okay? Or either this coat was very noticeable by other people's, okay? All right. I would kind of put that glitter with Joseph coat. All right. And let's go with the erupt next. All right. Because see, once he got that coat, his brothers really started to hate him. Right. They really totally started to dislike him. Okay. So that story kind of went on down into where he was sold. Okay. He ended up being sold in Midian. Okay. So we can kind of put that in that cooperate. Maybe he felt he had no other choice but to cooperate with the situation. Okay. And then the final card we have, it says upswing. All right, upswing. And I will say the upswing will kind of fall in with Moses, probably. I would say Moses, especially when he felt like he was seen killing the Egyptian man. And so when the Hebrew guy asked him if he was going to kill them, okay, I feel like that upswing, okay, mindset kind of set in with Moses. And then the final card says Ring of Fire. Okay. Now, this Ring of Fire that talks about enthusiastic and complete. Okay. Enthusiastic and complete. So we know that at the end, even it's going to be enthusiastic and complete when it really comes to the addition, the remainder of Joseph's life, and also the remainder of who Moses' life. So I think these cards are lining up good with those two that we was already just talking about. So let's get us additional clarifier. We see glitter. We got suspicious. Somebody may be very suspicious about something now. Okay, they was getting suspicious. Okay, really, both of these men caused some type of suspicion. All right, I feel that Joseph caused some suspicious. Moses caused some suspicious. Okay, so I think both of them may have caused some form of suspicious. And when we see erupt, we see the experience. All right, somebody may have some experience, and that's kind of like the mindset, the mentality is really what kind of got the anger, the hate to come from Joseph's brother, right? Okay, and then when Pharaoh's, no, Moses growing up, okay, I feel like with the erupt, he kind of like was kind of, since he was so much around the Hebrew peoples, he kind of got like a feel of how the Hebrew peoples kind of are versus the Pharaohs. So something could have erupted, and something did erupt, right? Because see, his grandfather wanted to kill him, right? Okay, so he learned from some experience in that situation, okay? All right, that he was able to go on further in life, get married, and all of that. All right, cooperate. Okay, we got trickster. Okay, because that was it was all about. It was a lot of trickster spirit was going on during that time. And I told you then that's kind of like what they is just trickery. Okay, but it to be that number of a group to have that type of hate, envy to the point they wanted their brother killed, and it was more than one or two that had that mindset. It was some trickery in play right there. It was some trickster spirit going on. All right. So in Moses' situation, I really don't I felt Moses' situation came more from the upright with the higher spirit. Because, like I told you about the well, how I was perceiving that well. And then right after that, it said a priest. Okay. So I feel like Moses came from a more positive spiritual side versus what was holding his brothers in their mind state. It came from a more lower dark side. Okay. Upswing. Upswing. And I told you I felt like the upswing. Oh, upswing can happen with Moses when he had to leave and run to Midian, and I'm sure upswing came when Joseph was getting ready to be sent to Egypt. All right, and there we go, dreams, and that's what it all started about with. It started that way with who? Joseph. Joseph started with what? Dreams. He was telling his brothers about his dreams, and that what started the upswing right there with them. His dreams. All right. And then we got the ring of fire complete. And the final one is mask. Okay? It says ring of fire, enthusiastic and complete. We have mask. All right? And a mask can usually be like somebody probably didn't see something in somebody, okay? Just like when you really want to look at the final side of the situation with Moses, okay? The whole time they have allowed him to wear a mask, right? The whole time through his life, he really thought he was just that, a Hebrew, all right? Not never knowing that he really was a Levite, okay? So I feel that mask, that ring of fire can line in with Moses, okay? Because of the simple fact reason, Moses did not know he was actually a Levite. And then also, I feel the mask also was a part of Joseph's life as well. Because either way it go, even though they deceived him, manipulated him, Joseph knew that his father made him a coat. Do you hear me? All right. So even though he wasn't wearing that coat, and then what they end up doing on his behalf, they masked his coat. They masked his coat with what? With the blood, okay, from the animal. To say that his brother got demolished, okay. All right, and he was killed. So I could see the mask working that way too. All right. So let's pull a couple of tags. We ain't gonna be long. So probably give me about 3 or 4 cards in the closing. This just for the closing. We've been talking about Joseph, and we've been talking about Moses. Moses' birth. All right. On up to when Moses got up in age to marry Zipporah. So let's close it, please. All right. First card we have is a 5 of ink. 5 of ink that talks And we know both sides had that. Joseph had to go through upheavals and arguments, even though he really didn't see it too much face to face. But I know when he found out he was being sold, I'm sure it's a hell of a lot of commotions and some bad things wanted to go down during that time. Because I can't see Joseph being a person that just end up going off, okay? Being in that type of situation and don't try to fight for himself, okay? And the same thing with Moses, all right? Moses did what he had to do, okay? It was fighting going on, okay? Went so bad he actually killed a man, okay? There goes the emperor coming out there, okay? Now this emperor could be either or, because both of them had what? A father, all right? That we talked a little bit about Joseph's father. Joseph's father rebuked him, right, because of his dreams. Okay, we had a father figure over on Moses' side. They said Moses' father was what? A Levite. We have the emperor there. What else we got here, Spirit? Okay, we're gonna take this one instead. There go the hermit. There go like that right there. The hermit could be like a visionary of a person that's doing what? By that well, being that well. Do you hear me? Okay, because that hermit is somebody that do what they supposed to be imparting into people's, okay? To uplift them, motivate them, encourage them, elevate them, okay? All right. Tell me more here about this anything here. All right. This emperor could have been a father to this hermit, okay? All these individuals could be related, okay? It's something there when it comes to these two, the emperor and the hermit here, okay? Their hermit, just because it's a hermit, could go either way. Just because it's showing the emperor, maybe it can go either way. But finally, we got the chariot. And I feel that chariot can line in with that ring of fire, okay? Talks about the enthusiastic and complete, okay? Talks about victory, okay? Could be some distance, okay, between these two individuals, okay? Could be somebody sitting around that kind of waiting, want to come forward with something, okay? Could be a king of parchment, all right? Now, when we was talking about the wealth or potential wealth or somebody that pretty well off, maybe the real father is going to come back in somebody's life. And the only real father that I know, actually, okay, yeah, both of these individuals actually, I think, had different fathers, okay? All right. They wasn't raised under the same individual that seed went into their mothers, all right? They both ended up pretty much being raised, if I'm not mistaken. Because I know a father or something, I know it was the wives. Because they said Israel loved Joseph, all right? It didn't say Jacob. So I feel like both of them had some difference, okay? And Pharaoh was the supposed to have been father of who? But they said Pharaoh's daughter, so it would have been somebody tied in with the Pharaoh. But Pharaoh was the actual what? Granddad. All right. So this could be a grandfather or a father of a harmony. A harmony is still a Levite. Okay. Could have been some deception, trickery. This here Seven of Swords really line in with the stories we have already heard. If anything, they've been robbed out of their true rights of knowing who the father or grandfathers are, if nothing else. Because the Seven of Quills talks about a lot. Talks about that betrayal, talks about deception, okay? Talks about that sneakiness. Somebody want to be sneaky about something, okay? It can talk about multiple other things, but it's negative, okay? It's nothing positive about it, okay? Throwing rocks and hiding hands, okay? Doing things that really uncalled for, all right? Because if you really want to tell the truth about it, both sides done experienced this Seven of Quills. You got the king of parchment. King of parchment. Somebody's watching afar, All right. We already have the emperor. The emperor could be like a grandfather. The king of parchment could be a father, or it could be either or. All right. Or this emperor could be a pharaoh. Pharaoh. It could be that way. It can go either way. It, Final card we have here is an eight of parchment. But this eight of parchment kind of seemed like it wanted to come in the reverse. All right. Let's clarify why this eight of parchment seemed to want to come in the reverse. That talks about somebody's work skills. There go the empress. All right. There go the empress. Either somebody's said the empress lacks skills, okay, talent, okay. Something is coming to an end. Somebody could have been defeated in something, or something was just the end for somebody. We see a four of parchment. We see a seven of parchment. Somebody did something. I don't know. All right, but the point of it is, we see here somebody wanted to hold on to something, okay? Somebody could have wanted to hold on to something or whatever, okay? This four of parchment talks about stability, talks about ranking, talk about control, okay? And then this here seven of parchment. This seven of parchment, it could talk about some form of investment. Somebody could have made some type of investment on something, okay? All right, somebody could have did something when it came to what I just saw. Because the seven of parchment came out, and then the four of parchment come out, right? And this come out on mask. Something come to an end, I know that. There go the trickery. And trickery is out here showing up out here twice. You see the trickster spirit out here too twice. Uh-huh. Clarify on this four of parchment. The lovers. The lovers. And there's no coincidence, no offense. We talk about two individuals as it is, right? We're talking about Joseph. We're talking about Moses. And then we saw who? We saw the emperor. We saw the hermit. We saw a king of parchment. We seen we seen the empress. Anything? Clarify why this. Hope you knew what I was talking about, Spirit. Okay, page of life tell me, yeah. Okay, and then you got final card. There go a five of quills. I think a five of quills is a good way to probably end this reading. All right, from what I'm seeing. I think this is a good way to end it on a positive. All right, maybe somebody ready to be genuine about something. Okay, so when we look more into it, we're gonna see how this story really ends between these two masculines, Joseph and Moses. But it seemed like from what I just got from that, somebody's ready to be pretty open and genuine. Maybe okay, they don't want to cause no conflict about something anymore. Okay, all right. Maybe I don't know. Maybe like I said, we know. But it's look like somebody really want to do something right, speak something, voice something, but however they want to be honest about something. Okay, all right. I am really picking that up. Somebody want to be honest about something, so somebody's gonna come to the forefront and share something. Talk to you later.